All right, guys, we're back for episode 3. Sorry it took so long, but we do have Philadelphia Soul GM Kelly Logan. Kelly, thank you so much for joining me tonight. We got a lot
Yes,
of eyes on you tonight.
yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. Um, well, first of all, I want to just thank you, Joey, for allowing me to come on to this show. I mean, I think you're a wonderful person. I appreciate you, and I just wanted to give everybody update what's going on with the Philadelphia Soul. Unfortunately, as of yesterday, um, I was on a call with the owners, and they announced that Philadelphia Soul will be on pause for the season. Um, it really hurt my heart to the utmost. I mean, I did everything I could, begged, and said to them that we have a group of guys, wonderful young men who are not ready to close shop. And so I encouraged them, and I said, "What can we do to, to make this thing to keep on going for us?" But unfortunately, when you don't have an owner and you're having to the league to dictate to us, you know, what's going to happen, you know, you guys have to buy because we don't have the money to take care of you this week. So it was not a fun situation for us as for me being the general manager to not unfortunately have the finances to be able to take care of our needs. One of the major important things is taking care of these young men financially. They did not come from all over the country, California, Dallas, Texas, just everywhere. I mean, I can't. It was so many states that these guys came from, and I just couldn't look in their eyes anymore and just tell them, unfortunately, guys, we just don't have the money. We lost the housing. Um, that was the first part. Then from losing the housing, you started seeing not like negative, like real bad behaviors from the players, but you could see the frustration, and I could see it in their eyes. And when you could see that in their eyes and frustration, I knew right from there they were not going to be focusing on winning football games. Um, and it was sad. It was really sad. Everybody knew about the first game situation when we went to Louisiana with only 4 players, and the rest of the players were players from Dallas, which they don't have the type of the feeling that we had when it came down to playing a football game. They didn't have the sweat and blood tears that the other uh, 16, 17 guys, if they had came to the game, they didn't have that. So I knew right then and there was no way that we could actually win that football game. So it was disappointing. Um, then from that, then we played on Minnesota. It was just heartbreaking because we only had really actual 14 players that was on the team, and then we had a couple guys that I appreciate to the utmost to come out and play play with us. And we only came out with 17, 16 guys. And of course, you can't win with only 16 guys, uh, knowing that we were going to have those type of situations. People getting tired. There's no substitute. We just never substitute the way we wanted to. So unfortunately, we had to take a pause for the season. And my goal is to come back next year or be somewhere um, with the name of Philadelphia Soul. And I truly appreciate you, Joey, for supporting our organization and allow us to speak, Emery to speak, and whoever player that could have came on to speak. So I thank you so much, Joey. And I just want, if you give me a few minutes, just to thank a couple of people that supported us. First person I want to say thank you to, rather, is a person no one kind of knew what happened. And I'm not going to really share what happened because I don't really think it's too many. It's not really, I hate to say it this way, it's not nobody's business. when it comes down to family stuff. Coach Pimmel. Coach Pimmel was a really awesome young man who really loved the game of football, who loved these men to the utmost. I mean, he did everything he could to help and support these guys. And but unfortunately, through the trials and tribulations, like every human being has, and Coach Pimmel had to leave. And and I understood families first. Family is always first. And I apologize if somebody don't believe that, but that's what my faith and my belief is that family is always first. Also, I want to thank Coach Hampton, who had to leave also, Coach Venner, who's a local, who's an awesome coach, Coach Valentine, Coach Thompson, and Steve, we call Dog. Then I want to thank all the players, Daquan Dudley, David Calder, Calderon, uh, Lindroy Neesmith, Joseph Aldarelli, uh, Jamel Williams, uh, Dominique McNeil, uh, Steve Puzo, Timon Locken, Dehan Taylor, Boniface Stevens, Tim Keefe, Deshaun Johnson, Rodney Hall, Marquise Slocum, Antoine Grant, Darius Boyce, Sean Daniels, Tim Terry, and most important person who just did a wonderful job is Emery Salmons. And there were a few more guys, but unfortunately, because we had no housing, they were forced to leave to go back uh, to their states. Then I also want to thank the ALOF, Super 8, Total Turf, Dr. Menegas, and his staff, our trainer Chris, uh, and the hype man, the new Mr. Soul, Brandon Jolly, uh, also our DJ Amber, uh, one person that you are familiar with is Charles Laverty, who's very supportive to our organization. He was always calling me. I was communicating with him and let him know what the deal was. Also, I do want to announce that we had a DJ that was about to do our first game. Her name was Amber, and she was ready to have fun. Our first home game, but unfortunately, she didn't have a chance. And you probably said, why do I thank the AFL? But I do thank the AFL League for allowing me to trusting in me to take a team with no owner, none. It was just me, um, and I did my best of my ability to make sure that these young men was taken care of. And also, I got to thank another group, my organization, Priestess Dreams, where I had to put a freeze on my organization to do this AFL with the Philadelphia Souls. So I have to thank them and also my community of Willingboro, New Jersey, my alumni and the community who was supporting this team. And because I'm a local, I'm a local, and it felt good to be able to say I was a general manager for the Philadelphia Soul. And the most important people in my life is my family. I thank them for being very supportive, my children, and most of all, my wife, Tahira, because she was just there, just going, Kelly, hold on, just hope everything works out for you. And so I wanted to thank them, and I just want to tell the fans that I do appreciate you guys. I really did my best. Um, Never, not one time, I lied to you guys about anything. If I didn't know the answer, I just said I don't know. I really meant that. Um, I'm not going to claim an answer because you may want to hear an answer, but unfortunately, there was a lot of things that was not shared with me at that point in time. So unfortunately, I had to either not say a word because I mean I have got emails and texts about ask a question, and unfortunately, I couldn't answer that question. Um, and also, just to also let you guys know, there was one of the questions I'm gonna just answer right now was Mustafa Shakur. He was our owner at one time. He decided that had to leave. Have no idea for what reason. So that's not my unfortunately, it's uh, not none of my business why he left. But I thank him for even starting this organization. And we did have another owner, which I think it was a little over his head a little bit, but I thank him for even attempting and trying to uh, help out with the organization. So again, thank you everyone for allowing me to be your general manager for Philadelphia Soul. I love each one of you guys. I've met a few guys at David and Buster's, and that's also thank you, David and Buster's, for allowing us to have an event there. Um, and so, I had a chance to talk to some of the fans, and it was fun. I really did. Couldn't wait to our first home game because I wanted to shake everybody's hand that was there. And that was my plan. I was standing at the front door because I'm not a coach, but I was going to stand at the door and shake everyone's hand just to thank them. So because I don't have a chance to do that now, I'm asking you to let them know that I appreciate everything, the support, even some of the negative. That's okay. Because you know, it's even with a family. Your family household, Joey, my family. It's never always going to be positive. If it is, that's a strange family. So there's always going to be some negativity in the family, and you guys are my family, Philadelphia Soul family. So I appreciate you guys allowing me to be a part of your family. And I've learned from mistakes. So when people share, criticize me about whatever, I've learned from that. And basically that's it. Whatever questions you have asked, you don't want to ask me, I will try my best to answer them. But understand that if I don't know the answer to it, I'm going to have to decline to answer that question.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly. That was a wonderful statement. It was truly well felt. I mean, obviously, since I've known you over the past month, almost going on
Yeah,
2 months, you've been nothing but honest. You've always answered my questions, whatever I had. And I'm not like Adam Schefter, so I wasn't gonna. Even if you told me something you weren't supposed to, I never
right,
like I'm not like that at all. So I do
right,
appreciate your honesty and all and just being so outgoing. I wish a lot of the other, higher ups in football are like you. And
right,
also shout out to Chris as well. He is
yeah,
a great guy that loves arena football. I don't think you'll find a larger Philadelphia Soul fan than him. He is really great. He was also very excited for me to interview you tonight because I think he's going to go live on the Soul page or his personal page
right.
after this. Yeah.
Awesome.
So also shout out to him as well. He runs a great group.
Yeah,
Yeah. So normally I have questions, but I left it for the fans, and I tied a little bit for me too. So not to keep you on long, just like a
no, that's
couple
okay.
questions to clear it up.
Hmm.
So the first one is a major concern. So some fans were excited when the tickets went on sale mid-April. Now what could they do in order to get a refund? Should they contact Ticketmaster or should they
Right.
contact Trenton?
Right. So I did speak with the Cure Arena today, and I did not say thank you to them, but thank you, Cure Arena, also to Fran. His name is Fran Jim. He was an awesome guy. Him and I communicated a lot. Um, what it was told to me today that they're waiting for I guess, a statement from the league to say that we are we are on pause or folded, whatever you want. And from that point, Ticketmasters and Pure Arena will then send a letter out, something out to all the members that paid, and I'm sure they'll be reimbursed after that.
All right, gotcha. Now I did want to ask if you can touch up on it a little bit. So obviously, week one was probably one of the worst weeks, probably for you.
Mm,
Being a professional, working in football.
right.
Um, when did you know, like early on, that this might not work out? Like, was there anything particular that
Yeah,
happened leading up to it?
I think when honestly, and I don't use that word honestly like that because being a cop, when people say, I'm gonna be honest this time, that means it was a few times that it wasn't. But I'm going to say this. I think when I started recognizing that there was going to be an issue when we got kicked out of Super 8, when I saw that, and I'm not going to put the blame on everybody. I'm not going to blame Lee Hutton. I'm not going to blame. It's just when you just financially strapped because you did all you could to make this team be successful. Unfortunately, when you don't have an owner, uh, that's what happens. Unfortunately, and we did not have an owner. The league was trying to take care of everything, and fortunately, when the league is trying to take care of 14 other or 14, 16 other teams, somebody's going to be the ball-headed stepchild. So I guess we were the ball-headed stepchild at this point in time. So we got kicked out of the Super 8, and that's when I started getting nervous. But at the same time, when you're looking at these young men's faces, you know, I told them, and I promise you, I told them this. I said, I'm going to be the last person to be on that ship. I am the captain of the ship, and I'm going to be the last person. And they can all tell you, a lot of them became angry with me because they had to be angry with somebody. So they were angry with me, and I told them that I'm gonna be here all the way to the end. I did not leave that building until the last player left the building. And I say left the building, not outside, because there were a couple players just they stayed around so long. I had to leave after that, um, but I was the last person to leave that building, and it hurt me to death. But that's when I started getting nervous. That's when I said to myself, "Are we a team that's going to be a team week by week? When you feel like you're week by week, that means that's not a good situation."
Okay. Now this will probably be the last question of that because I know like it's absolute chaos and only God knows what happens towards the end of the year if this Arena Football League does finish all the way up to 10 weeks that there might be looked at and stuff all these situations, but is there anything you can touch up on from that week 1 that got reported that was inaccurate? Is there anything that you've seen out there, cuz I know like Joe Mancuso's agent went absolutely wild on Twitter. Then there
Yeah.
was some unanimous quotes and things that were all out there on Twitter. But is there anything that you saw social media wise that you want to touch up on that was inaccurate or someone took the wrong way?
Right. Well, I'm about to say it again, be honest, but um, I'm going to say this. I don't think nothing that uh, the young man, what he said was wrong, but it was some things that was not all the way correct. I can't recall. There was a few things, and I don't want to bring up some of the stuff that was said that um, I knew that was not completely. I'm not gonna say the truth because I think what he felt is what he felt. But I always feel like sometimes uh, when we talk at times and we don't really know the answer, we just start filling in space in spots. You know, you can't just leave off just saying the ball rolled, but where did it roll? Did it roll to the left or did it roll to the right? Then they're going to say, oh, it rolled in the middle, where really when it rolled to the left. So sometimes, they have to fill in spots to make it sound good for themselves. So, but none of the things that they talked about, as in talked about getting kicked out of Super 8. We got kicked out of Super 8. The bill wasn't fully paid. The bill wasn't fully paid. Was there prostitution there? There was prostitution there, but I didn't know anything about it until um, I actually came there in the evening time because during the daytime it's beautiful. It smells great, everything. So, but I don't think it was prostitution going on through the whole day. And I don't think they were actually living in the hotel. They would, you can't, if somebody say, here's my $100 to pay for a room, you can't just turn them because you don't know who they are. You can't be discriminative. You can't just say, okay, you can't come to my hotel. But if you got the money, and you got driver license or whatever ID, they have to provide that service. But there was a lot of few things that was um, not true in a sense, and there was a couple of things that was recanted also. And I have to say, Super 8 and A-Law, the management were awesome to us, and we appreciate everything they did. And unfortunately, people hear the word Super 8 and they thought it was just a messy facility. But if you go over to Mount Laurel, Super 8 in Mount Laurel in the daytime, it's nice. It's not. I, that's the first Super 8 I ever seen that was clean, and it was my idea for the 2 weeks though. It wasn't planned for them to be there no more than 2 weeks for training camp because they're not our players. We did not even pick our players yet. But unfortunately, we were there extra 4 or 5 days, and because when we actually started our team, they were there a little longer. We was trying to work things out to try to put them in apartments, but they didn't give us the players and everybody else really did give us a chance to do that.
Okay. Um. All right. So I do have another question.
Sure.
I do apologize leading
No,
up to
that's
week
okay.
one, but I totally forgot about this one. So obviously the kicker made a vlog, about his day. But I just wanted to touch up on because obviously it was on the camera and all, and he was showing his like whole trauma and all. But now what happened on the day that the players were supposed to meet up and fly out? Because he was saying that I hope I don't misquote him, but he said that I think he saw like one or two other teammates or something like that waiting to
Yes,
get on a plane.
that's correct.
Could you just let everybody know, because obviously a lot of players like went home after that incident, I guess, at the
Hmm.
Super 8. So
Hmm.
yeah, just let everybody know like what happened with that
Well,
situation, and did you even know that you guys were going to play Saturday
no.
too?
So I found out that we were going to play on Saturday around about 3:30, 3:40. There was actually two players knew about it before I knew about it. And they said to me, "I need you to get on a plane with the two players." I had no idea why it was that way, but I could tell you at 3:40, 3:50, predominantly the guys that were talking left and asked for a release. So I never even had a chance to talk to some of those guys about uh, they wanted when they said they wanted to be released. Nothing we could do but release them. And plus, for that reason, and they had the right to be wanted to be released to play for another team. So 2 hours later, which was around 3:40, I got a phone call that asked me uh, to get on the plane with the two players. It turned out to be three players because I requested Emery to go with me, and so the three players went. Uh, at that time, we were trying to get the kicker to go, which the person, but but the tickets were already released, and when the tickets were already released, there was only 4 tickets, and it was just the 4 players, three players, including myself, that went. I had no idea what was going on really at that point in time. When we got to the airport, we actually did not get on the plane because we were so late to getting there. Because again, we I didn't know anything about it until close to 4 o'clock, 3:40, 4 o'clock, that we were actually going to make this flight at 5 o'clock, 5:30. So we ended up going that morning, Saturday morning, and my plan was to uh, hopefully get these three guys on the field with whoever we were playing with because I had no idea. I didn't have the uniforms. The uniforms were actually in Louisiana waiting for us. So, so when I got there, the uniforms were set up, in the box waiting for me to give out. I explained to the players that were there that you guys are auditioning to be a part of the Philadelphia Soul. Can't promise you you'll be a part of it, but uh, we'll see what happens. Uh, and the interim head coach, uh, Tyrone Washington, uh, he was our interim for that game, which I didn't know anything about it till that when I got there. So, and then I told all of them at the end of the game, thank you for trying out, and I'll give you a call back if we need you guys. And that ended that. But coming back to New Jersey, Philadelphia, New Jersey, whatever you want to call it, I was saying to myself, man, I feel really bad and awful that we did this, and but there was nothing I could do at that point in time. And I was praying that by us doing this, it represented that we are serious about playing for the Philadelphia Soul. But I think it backfired uh, by the players and also some of you guys, the fans. So again, I apologize for that. But I thought I was doing the right thing at that point in time when I went out there.
Wow. Yeah. So like, not only was that out of your control because you didn't even know that you were gonna play. You know, the uniforms were in Louisiana, so that was a league choice to have the replacement players for
Correct.
you. And then just looking at the pictures, I mean, like, of course, like this isn't a bashing interview. This is just to get
Right.
everyone out
No.
there.
Yeah.
But just like looking at the pictures, like somebody could have seriously got hurt. I mean, like you could have seen the size difference on the guys that were the Dallas players as the soul. That was
Yes.
crazy, the size
Yes.
difference.
Yes. And I did share that with the referees. I went up to the referees in the second quarter and said, "Listen, let's keep this clock running. Even if I call a timeout, let's keep the clock running." Because I started seeing injuries about to start happening. And not only with those young guys, but even our guys, I said to them, I said, when I tell you to get out, I want you to get out the game, and that's it for you. And so I got those guys out third quarter, and I said, you guys, thank you so much for supporting the league by doing this. And they sat down, you know, and I made sure none of them got hurt, and we let those other guys play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so let's touch up about week two. Like I was kind of frustrated with the whole league in general because like,
Yes.
obviously, I'm not just saying this because I'm based in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
but the Philadelphia Soul is a huge football market and sports market. And I know that the league, when they wanted the Soul to come back, they wanted the name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, when did you find out about the NFL Network deal not happening? Because obviously somebody messed up, and I didn't even think about it too, because I was just focused on the Soul coming back. But it started during the draft weekend, so no one put their heads
Right.
together and was like, "Wait a second." They cover the draft through Saturday, so you're not going to see a game on Saturday.
Right.
So
Right.
when did you know or put two and two together that there was no shot that this was going to
Um,
be on NFL Network?
well, I think I found out maybe 2 days after we came back from Louisiana. They kept on showing pictures of the Louisiana field, and they kept on showing it, kept on showing it back and forth. And the product, they were talking about the product. We can't show a video, a game looking with the product like this. Um, and don't get it twisted. The coaching staff at Louisiana, great guys. I had a chance to talk to those guys, and when I got there um, during the afternoon, they were busting their behinds trying to get the field together, working so hard. But unfortunately, after they got everything together, it just was not up to par. And I don't think it's any of the coach's fault or players' fault or why it looked like that, but it's an older stadium, and I believe that NFL Network wanted something like the Albany Stadium, even our stadium. We have a beautiful stadium. They wanted those type of stadiums and good product. So when they saw our team on that field, and just didn't look right. So, and they looked at that. They looked at a few things that caused the NFL Network. Oh, wait a minute. this don't look good, and they put a pause on it for the second week, and then I'm not sure what happened after that, if it was a financial thing or if it was just because uh, we couldn't get ourselves together on who was playing when. Teams would start folding, right in front of our eyes, and so uh, that's all I really know about the reason why the network decided to cancel us.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, what made me really ticked off, and I think I wrote on Twitter about it too, because I was pretty frustrated. I was like, we're going on week two. Obviously, the Soul are going to be on the road a lot, but the game wasn't on Vire or whatever arena
Yeah,
live they have on. Like, you got to put the team on because, like, right now, I mean, like, if you were going on week three, the Soul fans don't know who's on the roster besides Emery,
right,
who's very, very vocal. They don't know
right,
who QB1 is. They
right,
don't know who the head coach is.
right,
And they just don't have nothing to get excited for. So,
right.
yeah, I mean, so that's why like I figured something was up, but I was just hoping for
Yeah,
the best there.
yeah, yeah. It was a very tiring game that day because I was the only coach there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
I-
yeah, which is
so,
crazy.
so, so it's funny because see, people don't know a lot of stuff. Like, unfortunately, when we lost Steven, we call him Dog. He was our equipment guy. He actually had to leave also at the housing situation, and so I had so many titles, man. I went from being the GM to the head coach to the assistant coach. When I got home at the Minnesota game, I became the equipment man. I had to wash all them dirty clothes, all them dirty uniforms in a laundromat. So I laughed about it, and I just said to myself, I'm dedicated. I know I'm dedicated. Nobody cannot say that I'm not dedicated to this team. I am so dedicated. I'm so dedicated to fans to the utmost. Um, and I was praying. I said to myself, God, when I go on this interview today, don't let me get emotional. Please don't let me get emotional. And I got myself strong, and because I just didn't want to get emotional. And I just want to be, whatever questions you had for me, I wanted to be able to answer them instead of being all messed up in the head because I'm getting emotional and stuff like that. But this week has been extremely emotional for me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, uh, and it hurts. It hurts because plus one of the fans had made a statement about me, and I talked to him about it on on, on the computer and all, and we got it straightened. But I just hope that people don't think of me as being that type of person because I love these guys so much. Um, I'm dedicated to them to the utmost, and I'm dedicated to you guys as being the general manager. If I was just an equipment boy, I'm still dedicated. But I'm just a coach, assistant coach. I'm dedicated to you guys because I'm representing Philadelphia Soul. It didn't matter to me what position I had on the field or off the field or in the office. I'm dedicated to the fan base, and I just want to let you guys know before we close it out that I appreciate you guys to the utmost. And I know I jumped over a little bit, but I just want to share that again with you. I'm sorry, Joe.
Oh yeah, no, you said everything great. You were real honest and open. You didn't try to talk around the questions. You answer everything openly. Actually, I think we got like 2.5 minutes left. So if
Yeah,
you're able to answer these very quickly, this was also
sure.
from fans.
Yes,
So just to answer this question, I'm pretty sure the Soul logo, the original Soul logo is owned, right? And it's
correct.
and it's trademarked. Yeah, right. Okay. Gotcha.
And we
So the
could
other
and we couldn't find the actual owner who owned
yeah.
that logo.
Something tells me that Bon Jovi had something to do with it because of the music note too,
Yes,
Soul, right. Now the other thing is people are very down on arena football. Now obviously I'm 95% sure that the Philadelphia Soul will definitely be back at
yes.
some point, whether it's not next year or the year after. Do you see them in Arena League or do you see them in another Arena League possibly?
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
And the reason why I don't know how to answer that one, because that's a good question. You know, I, I'd rather for us to be in the AFL because that's where the Philadelphia Soul deserves to be in. They deserve to be in the best league. If it's not the NFL or the UFL, they got to be the AFL. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But at the same time, if we went into the IFL or AIF or NAL, would it be the same for the fans? And I'm not sure how to answer that question. I just know that you guys deserve the best. If we're called the Philadelphia Soul, I think we need to be the AFL. We need to be clinched in. We need a good owner care for. Not to say that the owner didn't care for us. I shouldn't say that, but an owner who's going to stay with us for the whole year, for the whole 2 or 3 years, and that's it. We don't need an owner just want to be here for 1 year. We need somebody who's dedicated, and I don't even have to be a part of it. If I'm a fan, I want to be the fan of the AFL. But if I'm still a part of it, I would love to be a part of it. A lot of times when you, and I'm real quickly, a lot of times you become the general manager, new owners, they decide to pick whoever they want to be as a general manager or whoever they want to be a head coach. So will I be back? I don't know. It just depends. Could I be back as an equipment boy? I might be back as an equipment man or whatever. But my goal is to be a part of the AFL as a fan or as a member of the organization.
All right. Yeah, and Kelly, thank you so much again for this interview. Thank you for the statement. Hopefully this clears up a lot of questions. I'm sure the comments are going to be very intriguing on the pages and all.
Yeah,
So I'm sure that people will be reaching out to you and all. And again, it was just a pleasure to get to know you and all. So
yeah,
even if you're with the Soul, like not to sound like a homer
right, right,
or anything, but like if you need me for like public relations or some kind of field ops, if you're still with the Soul, of
yeah,
course you have my number. So
yes. Thank you so much.
yeah, of course. All
Yeah.
right, Kelly. Well, thank you as always, and I will
And
stay
the
in touch
last
with you.
thing,
Yeah,
go Eagles.
go Birds, of
That's right,
course.
baby. Yeah. So
All
God
right.
bless you. Thank you.
Yep,
Appreciate you.
of course. Thank you. Appreciate it.